This is Oklahoma's own News 9 in high definition.
Right now at 4 o'clock, police say a night of drinking leads to one person shot, another person dead, and a home invasion, who police say pulled the trigger.
Attorneys say they have new evidence in the Reliable Pharmacy shooting, how they're hoping to score a new trial for Jerome Ersland.
OU under fire again? What hateful things the audience reportedly heard during an event on campus this weekend. That's all coming up. And Thunder Day, too. We'll talk about it in a moment.
But we begin here at 4 with new developments. An Oklahoma appeals court has rejected a last-minute request for a new hearing for death row inmate Richard Glossop. In a narrow 3-2 decision, the court denied Glossop's request for an evidentiary hearing and an emergency stay of execution, or a delay. That means Glossop's execution, set for this Wednesday at 3 p.m., will move forward. A man in Moore takes matters into his own hands after a day of drinking. Police say he shot his wife in the head and then broke into another home where he was shot and killed by a neighbor.
Okay, this happened over the weekend. It was Sunday. Still daylight, we're told. Dozens of people saw it all. News 9's Christy Lewis is in Moore with the update right now.
Well, this is where the first shooting happened. Witnesses say a woman was outside with her husband who had a gun. She was trying to calm him down and stop him from going across the street to a neighbor's home, and he just wasn't having it. In fact, he threatened to shoot her and counted down and shot her in the head. After Jason Morgan shot his 34-year-old wife, Tiffany, he went over to the neighbor's home. Police say he fired a shot at the neighbor's deadbolt and kicked his way inside. Once there, he was shot and killed by that neighbor, 28-year-old Justin Bozeman. Police say this was a flare-up from something that had happened earlier in the day, some sort of drama in the neighborhood, not even directly involving the shooter, and police say he was highly intoxicated.
He wasn't in his right mind, but to shoot his wife and then to continue on with obvious intent to do something to the people in that home, it was obviously very dangerous.
And coming up tonight at 5, we'll hear from a witness who tried to get involved and stop this thing himself, but then he had a gun pointed at him multiple times. We'll hear his account of this entire ordeal coming up tonight at 5. In Moore, Christy Lewis, News 9.
All right, Christy, thanks for the update. One other thing, police say there were about 25 or 30 people outside that witnessed the whole thing, and we've learned including the couple's children.
New details from a deadly weekend shooting in Oklahoma City. Police have now identified the victim as 33-year-old Ray Adams from California. Investigators found Adams on the ground near Northeast 12th and Grand Boulevard around 1 o'clock Saturday morning. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police tell us no one has been arrested so far. If you have any information on that crime, call the homicide tip line at 297-1200. Oklahoma City police also trying to unravel details from another shooting yesterday afternoon. We're told a man walked into a Metro hospital with a gunshot wound. At last check, he's in serious condition after surgery. Officers say the shooting happened near Southwest 28th and Barnes. Crime Stoppers is the number to call if you know anything about that shooting. It's 235-7300.
And right now in Norman, police are on the lookout for a suspected car thief who led them on a chase. Bob Mills, Sky News 9 HD was overhead this morning after we're told the suspect jumped out of a stolen pickup truck and then fled on foot. Police found that empty truck near Southwest 104th and Sunny Lane. No details yet on a suspect description. And in Oklahoma City, police say 2 suspects are on the run right now after an overnight carjacking. Investigators say 2 men forced a woman out of her 2003 gold Cadillac DeVille. They were last seen driving westbound on Northwest 31st and Classen. The woman, we are glad to say, was not hurt.
Happening around the state right now, the Sheriff's Department in Harmon County is searching for a runaway inmate. Deputies say 30-year-old Anthony Hall escaped from the Harmon County Jail around 10:30 last night. He was being held on sentencing violations. Investigators say Hall has escaped before, so if you see him, please call 911. We're getting new information about a house fire in Spencer overnight. Fire crews say the home near Northeast 55th and Post Road was engulfed in flames when they got there. Neighbors say one man lives there, but he was not home, luckily. Investigators say the home is a total loss, though, and the cause of that fire is still under investigation.
In campaign 2016 today, Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump unveils his plan to simplify America's tax code. Under the plan, single people making less than $25,000 a year or married couples making less than $50,000 would pay no taxes at all. Everyone else would fall under one of 4 other tax brackets. The top earners would pay 25%.
My economy will expand so rapidly. We're going to take jobs back from other countries, and we will be able to pay for it.
Trump also plans to slash the corporate tax from 35% to 15% and raise taxes on wealthier taxpayers. And one of the rising contenders in the GOP, candidate Carly Fiorina, is coming to Oklahoma City. She'll be here tomorrow. The Oklahoma Independent Petroleum Association has confirmed Fiorina will speak at a town hall discussion with independent oil and natural gas producers. The event is not open to the public. And News 9 has learned Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush will also be in Oklahoma City tomorrow morning. We're told Bush will meet privately with supporters discussing a new initiative to fight federal overreach. He does not have any public events scheduled, we've learned, at this time.
All right, Thunder fans, the wait is almost over. Can you believe we are just 30 days away from Oklahoma City's first regular season home game? So much excitement. Training camp actually kicks off tomorrow.
And you wore your Thunder blue today. Glad you're back.
There you go. Where's your orange?
Okay, I gotta get with the program. You know, the guy with the program, I'm telling you, Steve McGehee was at the Peak. You are our Thunder reporter. Every game you'll be at.
Home and away.
That's so cool, Steve.
I will be on the road. So if you guys need frequent flyer miles.
Yes.
I'm surprised I said that.
Hook us up, right?
I can't say that 3 times real fast.
Okay, but big
hook you
media day today, and there was some antics going on.
And I was looking around, you know, looking for somebody in crutches or in a cast or their fingers wrapped up.
Yeah.
Everyone's healthy,
on a
ready to go.
stretcher or something.
Keep it that way.
And that is important for this team, because this team, if they're healthy, they can win it all this year. And hopefully we'll have a victory parade in June.
I love this. We got the new coach,
There's
right?
your money shot right there. You
That's
got Serge,
awesome.
Russell, Billy Donovan, Kevin Durant, Russell
$1 million
smiling.
smile
$1 million
from him.
smile. Kevin Durant, as I mentioned, he's 100% healthy, ready to play. And look at Steven Adams there.
Whoa.
How about that hair?
He's got a new look.
You like it?
I kind of do. I'm
It's like
not gonna
the
lie.
bad boy look going on.
Of course, we asked all these basketball questions, but we asked, you know, some tough questions.
Like the
too.
hair, right?
Like the hair. We asked, listen up to Steven Adams. When's the last time you had a haircut?
That is actually tough. Probably December-ish, maybe January, I think. Maybe somewhere around there.
Is there one around the corner, or are you just kind of letting see what happens here?
I'm letting myself go, mate, for a little bit. Yeah, see what happens to it.
How long can you go?
I'm not sure. I'll probably start getting diminishing returns on it at some point. So when it gets to that point, then I'll probably cut it back.
He is one of my favorites. The accent. You have to love the accent.
Oh my gosh. When he says mate, I'm like, I'll be your mate.
There you go.
We'll see if he starts this year. He may come off the bench. He may start. Of course, that's Billy Donovan's decision, and we have a month to decide that out.
Coach still looks so serious there, even with all that fun
But
stuff.
he's got to be
going on.
smiling inside, because this roster is loaded.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay, hey, and we
So
need to mention, News 9 is your source for Oklahoma City Thunder news. In fact, we've just launched the new Thunder webpage. Right now, you can find more details from Thunder Media Day and a player profile on Kevin Durant. You can go to news9.com/Thunder. You can also join the Thunder Buzz on social media. Many of you already chiming in. We love this. Check out the pictures. Our own Dana Hurtnicki says, it makes me so happy to see Kevin Durant back in a Thunder uniform. And don't forget, Steve McGehee, the only reporter, I think, in the NBA, that will be at every game, home and away, for an NBA team.
Yeah, only one that can say that, too. By the way, Enos Kanter says he's just really looking forward to playing with these guys. Join in on the conversation. All you have to do is use the hashtag News9Thunder. Steve, thanks for joining us today. All right, still to come here at 4, under fire for a recent on-campus event, how OU is responding to a new case of hate speech.
Also, new evidence attorneys hope will grant Jerome Ursland another trial.
Plus, her excitement is infectious. Watch what this young fisher catches with her Barbie fishing pole. You had one of those, right, David?
Well, kinda. Really.
Welcome back, Lacey.
And she's back.
Missed her a lot. Glad she's back. You know what? It's warm again. Temperatures in the 80s out there, but it's all about our next storm system. Our first storm showing up. That's on your 9-day, followed by that. That's on your 9-day. Your 9-day forecast coming up right after the break.
Trends, topics, and tags for a Monday in a video that is sure to melt your heart. You got to watch this. One little girl's pure joy after catching a fish. It's one for the books. Watch.
I can't get it.
You keep going.
You need to help me.
You keep going.
You need to...
No, you keep going.
Are you going to help me? She says. That's little Avery and her hot pink Barbie fishing rod. They had a field day out on the lake with Dad. The video shows Avery trying so hard to control her little giggle fits and reel in her line right alongside a very proud dad, too.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and we've watched, look, there it is, at the 2-minute mark, she pulls the fish out of the water. And she's so excited. Okay, it's 20 inches, 5 pounds.
That's huge.
That's pretty good. The fishing duo can't contain their excitement any longer and exchange high fives. You'll see it here in just a second.
That is such a precious moment. People from all over the world have tuned in to giggle and cheer right along with Avery and her pink fishing rod. The adorable video showing Avery's catch of the day, over 5.3 million views and growing. Can you believe that?
I bet Lacey Swope that would warm her heart for sure.
I used to have a Snoopy fishing pole.
Really?
And I actually won a fishing contest one time with them.
Well,
so
there you go.
Don't turn your nose at him. Way to go, Avery. All right, now for something else on a good note. David Payne, prepare to pucker up.
Oh, yeah.
For the 3rd year in a row, David brought in the most money for our fundraiser at the Oklahoma State Fair. It wrapped up yesterday, and David ended up with more than $2,300 in his box.
Oh, Kelly came in behind, just a couple $100 behind. Yep. Lacey, Amanda, Stan rounded out the top 5 earners. Overall, though, the good news, we all helped raise over $8,000, $8,152, and every single penny goes to the Regional Food Bank's Food for Kids program. And, of course, now we get to see David laying that smooch on the pig one more time.
3rd year is a charm, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe you should wear lipstick this time, just to mix it up a little bit.
You know, I liked when you get in there with them and they've been eating poop and other feces from other animals and all that.
Love it.
And then they're eating on gosh knows what, and then you have to. It's a moment, really.
We're all looking forward to watching.
I am too. I can't wait.
The lucky man of the day, big guy.
And we raised more money this year than we did last year. I think by like $1,000 or whatever it is.
That's so cool.
Yeah, cool.
I said next year we should just assume it's going to be David and maybe bet on what body part he has to kiss.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
We say the backside of the pig, you know?
Let's do that. Yeah. Plug her up. I'm out. Whatever. You guys are gross.
Oh, you know you'll do anything to help
love it.
fight hunger.
Sassy Mama, even she thinks that's disgusting.
She's laughing.
Relationship.
No, whatever.
I mean, you also have a relationship now.
You guys are going steady.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I get a call back after 3 times.
Yeah.
She calls me. The pattern's going to change. It's been boring. Yeah, it's been hot. Things are going to go the opposite direction. The chance of rain's going up, and temperatures are coming down. So
You're teasing us with this fall weather.
it's going to be great. Hey, by the way.
Oh, that was so cool.
It was beautiful. It was wild.
Last night we ran out to Pops, and there were people at Pops with their cameras out and talking about Pops in Arcadia.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, and it was beautiful. You had to have the right camera, but I tell you what, if you did, yeah, it was really, really amazing. A spectacular sight. And of course, we had the super moon. Just means the moon was extremely close to us, or closer than normal. Okay, it was just close to us. It was larger than normal. And also, well, we had the lunar eclipse going on, and you can see the phases of that. Man, it was beautiful there, and it lasted quite a while. It was really a nice sight to see there. That shot from our very own Bill Bryant at Real Birdcatcher, all right, on Twitter. He did a great job. Just, again, a beautiful, beautiful set of pictures there. All right, what's going on? Well, we have a storm system in Texas that's giving southeastern Oklahoma some clouds and a few sprinkles down here. This will hang around for the afternoon through this evening for a while, and that's about it. The rest of us, partly cloudy skies. You can see the spin going on down here. It's lifting north, and it will continue to do that. So even through tomorrow, a chance for some showers in the southeast. But our next weather system, it's not coming in from the south, but it's coming in from the west. All right, more on that coming up. On Storm Shield 9, rain in Texas. There's been a lot of rain down here. There's been a lot of flooding over the weekend down in the deep south, and there's more rain coming for them. For us, again, a couple of showers in the southeast. This is our next front that will move through Oklahoma late tonight and throughout the day tomorrow, and kind of give our temperatures kind of a knockdown, if you will. We're going to bring temperatures down some. We're going to cool it off, and then it's all about what's after this down the road. All right, our next storm systems, not system, but systems are showing up. 86 degrees in Oklahoma City from our Air Comfort Skycam network, and our dew point temperature is at 55. So the atmosphere, yeah, it's pretty dry, relatively dry. Could be worse, okay? Hey, we'll take an 85 in Stillwater, 87 in Kingfisher, 84 in Byers, 83 in Weatherford, the rest of Oklahoma, low 80s, mid 80s in the east to a mid to upper 80 or 2 in the northwest, even a 90, there you go, 90 in Altus. And temperatures again today, once again, are well above normal. So there's a spin down here along the Texas Gulf Coast. That'll hang around there and begin to lift to the north. Our next storm is actually this one. We have two branches of the jet stream coming into the north of us, but we're down here, and all the action is up in here, all right? So we'll see what we can do with this. What's going to happen is that storm off the California coast, that arrives late Friday into Saturday with a pretty good chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms. At the same time, we're going to have more cool air coming in from the north. That's a good thing. And then our second storm will come out first to middle part of next week with another wave of rain and storms, and that one might bring us a little severe weather. Have to wait and see on that, all right? So, again, a good pattern change for us. We need it. We need some rain in here. August was dry. September will go down bone dry for most of us. We need moisture. All right, this evening, a shower in the southeast, maybe out in the Panhandle. That'll be about it. Overnight tonight, lows in the low 60s. Light and variable winds, I-35 eastward. We end up with a light north breeze. And then late tonight and tomorrow, the front will come on through out of Kansas. That'll give us a northeast wind tomorrow. And tomorrow's highs, about like today, maybe a degree or two cooler, mid-80s, some upper 80s in the west. And tomorrow, the best chance of rain will be in our Panhandle, possibly northwestern Oklahoma late in the day, a few showers in the southeast. And then for Wednesday, cooler still. Low 80s in the north, mid to upper 80s in the south, 83 in Oklahoma City with a northeast wind. And on Wednesday, best chance for showers and thunderstorms will be in the far northwest in our Panhandle. 9-day forecast, 2 storms, 2 opportunities for rain and thunderstorms. And how about highs only in the 60s and 70s? Won't that feel good? 9-day forecast coming up. Ladies, back to you.
Sounds good. You have to watch Sassy Mama with us today. Homemade coffee creamer. After the break, Sassy Mama shows us how to create pumpkin spiced addition.
Are you doing the train?
I don't know. It's my own routine.
It's a cheap charge.
Pumpkin spice.
Come on, ride the train.
All right, looking forward to that.
Looking good, girl.
Plus, later, how one mother of 3 is hoping to prevent children from being left inside hot cars. We're back in a moment.
Sassy Mama's on coffee right now. The gang's all together, and like we're on crazy mode right now.
Sorry.
I loved your train earlier.
Well,
she was like,
she got her moves on.
through.
Well, and now I think I could do the whip.
And watch me shake it. There you go.
Spice.
Because we're doing natural pumpkin spice creamer for your coffee, and there's a little shaking going on, right?
Yeah, a lot of shaking going on. It's amazing that if you put natural stuff in your creamer, it makes you want to dance.
Makes you feel good.
Exactly.
It does.
A cheap charge is needed by all.
Absolutely. And if you read, you know, pumpkin spice is everywhere. If you go to the grocery store,
Candles.
It's everywhere. The only thing I've not seen it in yet is in my cat food. I'm waiting for that to happen.
It's coming.
It's coming, but I haven't seen it yet. So, but pumpkin spice, you know, lattes and all of that, if you read the actual what's in it, there's no pumpkin.
Really?
And if you read it,
the calories.
and they'll tell you it's called pumpkin spice flavored. That is your clue that there is no pumpkin that ever touched it.
So how do we do
mine
this
does, and let me show you how you do it. And it will taste just the same, if not better.
Okay.
So, as a consumer, we've just stopped asking questions. That's why.
Well, how do you make something that tastes like pumpkin, not
Just
using pumpkin?
the flavoring.
Well, I once had a food company tell me that if you could make paint, you could make food.
That's scary.
Oh, hello, meow. Okay, what you're going to use is you're going to use a 1/4 cup of pumpkin.
The filling.
Yep, the filling. And you're going to put Brahms half and half in there. It is, I mean, we have a dairy right down the road, guys. It can't get any fresher than this. So you know it's natural, it's fresh. So what we're going to do is we're going to put, I got to get the exact deals. I'm not wearing my glasses.
Okay.
How much do you need? Of what?
Okay, we're going to put
one half tablespoon of pumpkin pie.
pumpkin spice. Okay, got it. We're going to put agave nectar. And I've already put
2 to
in
3 tablespoons.
Exactly, and I've already put in the vanilla paste, which you know I love. Now this is the secret. You're not adding sugar, you're adding agave nectar, which is 3 times sweeter than sugar. And you add, I start with 3 tablespoons and then add more according to your taste. You whisk.
First you whisk.
And then you nay-nay. I mean, but I don't even know what a nay-nay is, by the way.
It's a wave, I think.
I don't know.
We got about 30 seconds.
Okay, so we'll break down nay-naying later.
sorry.
What you're going to do is just whisk this together just like this. And then what I do a lot of times is I empty out my old ones, my old containers from the
Like
creamers.
jelly or the creamers.
And I pour that back in it because it's the real thing. Or just put it in jars. It's just like this. And I gave it to Amanda before we came on. She loved it. Amanda Taylor loved it. David has loved it. It is so good. And it costs pennies to what you're normally going to spend.
Okay.
Oh,
wow.
Very good. Oh my God.
It's very good, guys, and it's exactly the same, and there's no flavors. It's the real deal.
All right, another recipe from Sassy Mama coming up. The recipe on our website, news9.com. Now,
coming up, back in the hot seat, why OU is back in the spotlight for another case of hate speech at a school-sponsored event.
Attorneys are trying a new tactic to get a new trial for the pharmacist in the Reliable Pharmacy shooting that made national headlines. What they're doing next.
And we are following breaking news. We are following a chase right now involving OHP troopers. You can see this high-speed chase down I-44 near the Amarillo Junction.
Jim is overhead. Jim, this has just been going on for the last few minutes. This guy's booking it.
Well, that's right. We were in pursuit of, we'll see, come out of the trees right there. He went off. Looks like somebody went off the road right there. We're catching up to him. We just passed south. We're coming up on Southwest 82nd, going southbound on I-44 here, where OHP's been in a high-speed pursuit of this vehicle for quite some time here. They've reached speeds over 100 miles an hour here. As we come up on it here, you can see he's on the shoulder right now. Now, we had reports that it was a Tahoe, but that doesn't look to be a Tahoe. Like I said, they're running really fast here. We are just now passing Southwest 89th, southbound on I-44. We should catch up with them here shortly and get you a better picture of what's going on. Right now, I don't have any information of why are they pursuing this car at the time, but like I said, OHP is in pursuit of that white car you see right there going southbound on 44, I-44, which basically would be west I-44. Just past, we're just past Southwest 104th Street now, the helicopter has. They're still way up in front of us right now, running on the shoulder, very dangerous right now, but OHP, you can see the OHP SUV behind that white vehicle being pursued. Now there you can see Southwest 134th in your picture. He's just past that, still on the shoulder, southbound on I-44 here. As soon as we get caught up here, I'm going to have to go back to Will Rogers Tower here to clear, because we'll be crossing the extended center line or the runway here in a minute as 44 kind of bends over to the west, so I have to get in touch with them. Back to you.
Hey, Jim, thank you so much. And just to put this into perspective, Jim is in the fastest chopper in this market, and he's having trouble keeping up with this high-speed pursuit involving OHP and that white vehicle. We're told it's a Mercedes of some sort, but we still have no idea why they're chasing him.
No, and it looks like he is increasing, and at Southwest 149th, and look at this. I mean, we're getting ready to enter the drive time home. This is a major thoroughfare, I-44. It looks like he's headed, you know, into the Tri-Cities area. If you were getting ready to kind of move into the H.E. Bailey Turnpike going into Lawton, it looks like that he's coming up on the big bridge there on the south side of Oklahoma City. And now the lanes are opening up just a little bit. Earlier, as we were watching, as this pursuit just started, it looked like one car might have been run off the road, but here's the bridge on the south side of the metro, and it looks like the highway patrol car.
OHP trooper car.
Oh, he blew a tire out. The trooper car blew a tire out. That is not good news. Let's see if he...
Right, the OHP SUV just lost a tire. Now, right now, we're about a mile behind this car. Hang on, just one.
All right, Jim, I know you're talking to the air traffic controller because of the Will Rogers airport traffic, but the shot is still on this guy.
Will Rogers airspace, so we can
That's right. Oh, and he just exited off.
He almost lost it on the off-ramp right there.
That's going into the tunnel. Oh, my goodness. One, two, three.
He rolled.
He's rolled 4 times.
Oh, he rolled right there. That's going to be...
oh, goodness.
We got 2 police cars over to the shoulder here. Okay, we're going to be rolling up on this pretty quick.
Oh, goodness. He took that
pretty quick here, so we'll find out
very high speed.
Exactly what happened here.
He was traveling at a high rate of speed and took that 108 exit,
around pretty hard,
which goes into that Tri-City area. Just hang with us. Our signal is going to be coming back as we follow this breaking news.
Just stay with him, Ben. Just stay with him.
Oh, he got out.
He got out and he's running now.
Goodness.
The suspect is running. He's crossing
Where is that?
We got people standing out behind their house. This is not good. This is not good.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, he's right behind the business there. We got an OHP SUV.
He's closing in on him.
It appears to be a woman. It appears to be a woman that's running. Here, she's trying to, the trooper's going to apprehend her right here.
All right.
Right behind the fence here.
They got her.
Oh, that's good. I don't know if this person's armed or what she had or whatever, but right now we're sitting right here. It's going to be basically it's going to be northwest 32nd Street, or northeast 34th Street, around in that area. This off-ramp looked like going towards Tuttle.
Right. It looked like
where
that
they lost it as they come off that off-ramp and rolled the car. Is there somebody else in the car there, Ben?
It was
They got
amazing.
that person in. It looks like there may be somebody else in the car here, but I'm not sure.
And for that suspect to take off running after flipping 4 times, is that how many times we counted?
And look, someone else in the car as well. It looks like looks like a woman as we, goodness, continue watching the breaking news. This high-speed chase started as we were just a few minutes into our 4 o'clock news, and Jim got up on the signal about 4:25, and we followed this all on the south side of Oklahoma City. And the driver took that exit 108 going into the Tri-City area at a high rate of speed, and that car flipped about 4 times. It looked like the driver is the one that bailed out. Police have, it does look like that is a woman. Yep, they've got her, and it looks like another woman might have been in the car with her. No word why police were chasing them in that car. OHP trooper's car had a...
Right now we're trying to designate if that really was a woman in the car with this African-American woman, or if she is a bystander that walked over to the car. Right now she's on a phone walking around that car. Like I said, I didn't see her get out. I just saw her standing there, so we don't want to make assumptions here, but I don't know if she was really in the car or she was just a bystander that went over to help.
Which is absolutely a possibility, Jim.
We'll find out here as we get all this cleared up. Like, this is going to be Highway 37. There's southbound this chase went southbound I-44 on the shoulder of the road. When we got caught up with them, they're pretty much on the shoulder of the road doing well over 100 miles an hour going on the shoulder, southbound I-44. They exited here at Highway 37 where the car rolled. And like I said, you, Robin, and you guys counted it. I didn't see how many times. I really wasn't watching them, but rolled the car several times where the woman exited the car, run back northbound, crossing the off-ramp to Highway 37 here. And luckily, the OHP got her caught at a fence line back behind a business here, because there were some people standing out behind her house watching this unfold, and I didn't know if that person may have been armed or what, so it kept those people from being in harm's way here if that girl had jumped the fence. Like I said, we don't know why she was being chased, but it was a very dangerous chase, very high rate of speeds, and of course you saw live on TV the one OHP cruiser lost his wheel tire on the back side of his SUV there. So again, it just luckily, hopefully, it looks like it ended here with nobody getting seriously hurt.
Which is amazing, considering it was 4:30 probably when we picked up this chase, and going into the drive time, all the traffic, driving at over 100 miles per hour at some points, and then taking that turn at just about 100, maybe
it looked
a
like
little less.
The driver made a last-minute decision to take that exit, because it looked like they might continue on southbound, but then at the last minute got on that exit ramp, 108, going into the Tri-Cities area, and that's when that was a bad move. But the good thing is, at this point, it looks like no other drivers on the roadway were injured. We know one car might have been pushed off the road, but at this point, it looks like everyone is still alive, including the driver there. Lucky to be alive after rolling that car.
And you saw it live on the air. We actually want to bring you that video once again. Watch.
Oh, goodness.
1, 2, 3. It's about 4 turns, complete turns, taking that exit ramp, and you can see there's cars literally driving by as this is happening. A lot of them pull over, and that's why we're trying to figure out, was that person that was left at the car a bystander who came over to help, or was that person in the car with the suspect who took off running?
Wow. So here it is one more time. They were booking it, and it did not end well, that's for sure. They're lucky they're still alive.
And took off running, too, after a crash like that.
Yeah, here it is, that suspect taking off running northbound, and boy, we've had some great law enforcement working very quickly, and you'll see that police car coming in right behind, and basically they're trapped. And officers have arrested this woman.
Oof.
And
she took a tumble right there, too. That was a pretty bad one.
Goodness.
And probably would have had to crawl over the fence at that point, so.
All right.
It's amazing no one was hurt. I mean, she's probably hurting after that crash. I mean, I can't imagine how you're not.
Well, as it went back to the car, the airbags, you could see, were deployed in the front and the back. And again, there is the suspect that was on a high-speed chase. We had word it started out near Yukon on the Kilpatrick, and then looked like it came down south on I-44. And boy, 4:30 in the afternoon, we're in that drive time home. Just a miracle that everyone is going to be A-okay after that one.
At one point, it looked like, and we haven't confirmed, but just from our video getting right on the scene, it looked like maybe another driver was pushed off the road or veered off the road on purpose, seeing this in your rear view mirror coming at you 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, that would not be, that would be very frightening to be on the road as this was going on. Oklahoma City Police and the Highway Patrol doing a very good job, and as you're looking live, so a little commotion there on the southbound I-44. Basically, it's westbound, but it's if you're headed south. right at that Tri-City area. A lot of law enforcement, some commotion if you're exiting off. So if you have a loved one coming home southbound off 44, you might want to call them and just say, hey, everything is okay, but there is some commotion after this high-speed chase on the south side of Oklahoma City.
If we still have Jim, we'd kind of like to check in with him as far as traffic. It was already kind of highly populated on the road there, and now with this crash, all the commotion. Jim, what does it look like around this crash scene?
Yeah, roger that. You'd see the traffic coming off the off-ramp there going on to Highway 37. It is starting to get busier here. I haven't really looked behind me to see what traffic's doing behind me, but the access road, which is just off the off-ramp there to the right, you can see them backed up right now because they have that road blocked off, that access road. So you are getting traffic, quite a bit of traffic. I'm gonna move out a little bit here. I got Air 1 moving around me here that's came in. So let me move over just a little bit here and we'll be able to get a shot of the traffic that's on that service road that is to a dead stop there because they have that service road blocked off. That's where the suspect run across, and they caught her right behind that business there. But you can see cars starting to stack up there. You can see the off-ramp there to highway from southbound I-44 to Highway 37 is starting to get a little bit congested here due to all this commotion. And of course the car laying over there on the left-hand side of that off-ramp. So everybody's slowing down to take a look at it. But right now, the only good thing I'd say out of this is there's no injuries. No injuries, that's just amazing. Reaching speeds well over 100 miles an hour coming down I-44 on the shoulder. We lost two OHP cars. One OHP car run off the road. We really need to go back and check to see if he's really all right. And then you saw the second OHP car, which was an SUV, actually lose a tire on the rear of his SUV there, and he had to drop out. So just amazing here that nobody was seriously injured. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Jim Gardner doing a fine job following that chase for us live right here on News 9. Again, just southbound there on 44, right near the Tuttle area. A little slow going due to the events that have unfolded, but we'll continue to keep you up to date. Keep it here on News 9. Once again, updating our breaking news after this high-speed chase that ended here on the south side of Oklahoma City, right as you're making your way into the Tuttle area. Jim Gardner overhead. Jim, that's the car that was involved in this, and now we're getting some updated information about the people inside.
Well, that's right. You saw it live on News 9 here. Is that car rolled several times here, exiting to Highway 37 going towards Tuttle, here going southbound on I-44. Now, what the problem we had was the woman that we saw walking around on the phone in the red jacket there, we didn't know if she was a bystander that had just stopped to help, but now I believe she was in the car because now she is basically under this tree to the south of the car. They've got her in a neck brace and putting her on a backboard. So now we're trying to find out what is her involvement with the driver. We saw live on the air the driver take off across the northbound, running northbound, got behind this business right here where they caught the driver, African-American woman here right now that is in custody. I believe she may still be sitting there. She's still sitting there on the concrete right now, and now we're trying to find out what the involvement with the other woman that they are working on right now in that car. So again, it's going to be quite a while till we figure all this out, because with all breaking news, it's very fluid. We're trying to gather as much information as we can, and so we'll hopefully have all this figured out in the 5 o'clock newscast. But you're looking at the off-ramp to 37 coming southbound on I-44, which would be the westbound I-44, the exit 37 to go towards Tuttle. Right now, that ramp is starting to get shut down because we're getting so many emergency personnel and police around here that is starting to back up traffic a little bit here. So anybody traveling here might want to find an alternate route if you got to go towards the Tuttle area, the Tri-City area. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
All right, we appreciate it. Look for an update on news9.com and News 9 at 5 o'clock.
All right, switching gears really quick. We want to get in this last segment with Sassy Mama because it's Pumpkin Spice Day. We just made the coffee creamer. Now what are we doing?
Well, we're not flipping cars.
No, nothing quite that exciting.
It's not that exciting. So we're moving really quick here. What we're gonna do is pumpkin spice cookies are so simple. This is my mom's recipe. All you do is use fresh pumpkin, a stick of butter, a little bit of sugar, and then baking soda, baking powder, and pumpkin pie spice and some flour. You stir it all together. It's gonna come out like this. But this is the secret. Your dough is going to be really thick, almost like a cake batter.
Right, it does look thick.
And so you're going to use an ice cream scoop and put your scoops on here and bake them for 10 to 15 minutes. Everybody's oven is different, so make sure and just test it. You know, it's going to be more like a cake. Katie said it looks like a whoopie pie. So, I mean, they do. They're like thick, almost like a cake cookie. And so what you do is you're going to make a frosting. You can use store-bought. Just add some plain old, you know, pumpkin pie spice into the frosting like that.
And all the recipe is going to be on our website because I know people are going to want this one.
News9.com, or you can get it at sassyrecipe.club.com. They're so simple, and it's going to change your fall.
And how long do you let that stay on there? You know, I mean, like, does it have to harden a little bit?
Well, it's supposed to harden, but it usually doesn't take long. My people run off out of the house with it. So do your best is all I can say.
Oh, man. Okay, and here's the final product. I mean,
just like that.
You know, it's too bad Jim Gardner is on Breaking News because he would have been the first one here to try this.
You know what? He's earned a cookie. I'm going to leave it on his desk.
He's going to be hungry after that.
He's earned a cookie.
There you go. All right, so we have the recipe, again, on our website. All the ingredients on there, news9.com or
sassyrecipe.club.com.
Awesome. We're going to try these cookies, and right now send it over to David, who doesn't get any. David, over to you.
No cookies.
A little bite? Nothing?
We're going to eat all of them.
Nothing? Can I lick the pan?
Yeah.
Can I lick the spoon?
Okay, we'll give you the spoon here.
From a guy that's going to have to kiss a pig this year, I guess.
Okay.
Why don't you bring your girlfriend a cookie?
The pig.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying Petunia, the hot little pig down at the fair.
Petunia the pig.
She's got a cute little tail, you know what I'm saying?
You like those curly ones.
That's all I got going on.
Watch out.
There we go. Be careful out there. All right, here we go. Sunshine today. Yeah, some clouds in the southeast. A few showers down here near Beavers Bend. There you go. Broken Bow, you bet. Beautiful part of the state, one of the prettiest, actually. And showers down here going on. A few clouds elsewhere. That's about it. For the rest of us, pretty quiet evening coming up. Cold front or a not as warm front, okay? That'll be our first front that comes in as we get into late tonight and tomorrow. That'll keep our temperatures in check and then cool us off the next several days. So we're looking forward to that, okay? Today's pretty warm. A little bit of rain to the north of this front for now. And we have a couple of smaller storms headed for Oklahoma. And then as we get into late this week, we have a much stronger storm on the way. Rain in Texas. This will hang around southeastern Oklahoma the next couple of days. But that's going to be about it. Our next big story really will be what is now out over the Pacific Ocean. And more on that coming up. 86 degrees in Oklahoma City from our Air Comfort Skycam network. Live from our Mathis Brothers cam. And here we go. Heat index of 85. Why is it lower than our temperature? Because the atmosphere is relatively dry today. Our dew point temperature only at 55. So even though it's warm outside, it actually feels pretty good because our humidity is just not that high. But it will be increasing as we get into the next several days and towards later in the week just a bit. 86 in Stillwater, 84 in Kingfisher, 86 in Chickasha. The rest of Oklahoma, we have 80s. We have, yes, a 90 today, 90 in Altus, 88 up in Alva. The allergy report today, none of it's good. Everything is either, well, we have a three-way tie going across the top here with the tree, the weeds, and the mold, and the grass pollen today. It's moderate, but these are all way high. All right, the jet stream. We have two branches now, one in the north coming out of Canada, dipping into the northern states, and then the other one here kind of have split flow over the Pacific right now, and that's kind of a normal setup for this time of year with the El Nino beginning to really starting to think about kicking in, okay? So we're getting that subtropical jet down here. That's picking up. We have two storms headed for Oklahoma. There's the first one right here off the west coast. Here comes the second one way up here west of Alaska, and that'll drop south and east. Those will both give us decent chances of rain and storms coming up. The storm in Texas moves north and east. We'll have some energy coming in here late week. Not a big deal until we get into your Friday night and into Saturday. That'll be storm one. The next one near Alaska will come out as we get into, well, early next week, talking about next Tuesday, and that might bring us more rain, more storms, and maybe a little severe weather. But if we're living just right, this Saturday, highs in the 70s, might even see highs this Saturday in the 60s. And rainfall amounts out of this first wave, we'll say a quarter to some places picking up a half to some places nearly an inch out of this for Friday night and into Saturday. Lows tonight in the 60s, light winds. North breeze will pick up late tonight. And then for tomorrow, highs in the 80s. Most of us tomorrow dry. Chance for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow on the Panhandle, also in southeastern Oklahoma, all right? But 90 forecast, more on that coming up at 5 o'clock. Stick around. We'll be back right after this.
And just before 5 o'clock, we're continuing to follow that breaking news you saw unfold right here live on News 9. An OHP chase that ended with a pretty dramatic crash near I-44 and Highway 37. Jim's been trying to get more details for us. Jim, what can you tell us right now?
Well, right now you're looking at the first car. Okay, when we first arrived on the scene and we're trying to catch up for that chase, we saw a lot of dirt flying, and that's where we thought the car had exited the road, but actually it was this trooper here. This trooper left the road coming southbound on I-40, left the road right at the southwest 104th exit here, and basically went down this grass median, crossed this intersection, T-boned a car right there. That's a bystander's car. You can see that car's caved in on the side, and I believe that's the driver standing right there. Luckily, they didn't get hurt, but that was the first trooper car that we lost here at Southwest 104th. Right now, they have that intersection closed down because, of course, it involved an OHP car, so we're going to have a long investigation here. And this is the first car. Now, the second car is the trooper that lost the wheel. We're going to go down and try to find him. So you're looking at the intersection of Southwest 104th and I-44, where we lost the first trooper car in that high-speed chase that just happened on News 9. Jim Garpoint live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
And let's show people how this chase ended at I-44 and Highway 37. There's the driver of that car. That car flips 4 times, coming to a stop. And I tell you, the driver gets out and takes off. Police then nab her and another person who was in the car. It looked like might have had some neck problems, but that gal was on the run, not for very long. Police have apprehended them. They're off to the county jail. No names have been released, and as soon as we figure out more, we'll pass it along here on News 9.
And we are following breaking news. We are following a chase right now involving OHP troopers. You can see this high-speed chase down I-44 near the Amarillo Junction.
Jim is overhead. Jim, this has just been going on for the last few minutes. This guy's booking it.
Well, that's right. We were in pursuit of, we'll see, come out of the trees right there. He went off. Looks like somebody went off the road right there. We're catching up to him. We just passed south. We're coming up on Southwest 82nd, going southbound on I-44 here, where OHP's been in a high-speed pursuit of this vehicle for quite some time here. They've reached speeds over 100 miles an hour here. As we come up on it here, you can see he's on the shoulder right now. Now, we had reports that it was a Tahoe, but that doesn't look to be a Tahoe. Like I said, they're running really fast here. We are just now passing Southwest 89th, southbound on I-44. We should catch up with them here shortly and get you a better picture of what's going on. Right now, I don't have any information of why are they pursuing this car at the time, but like I said, OHP is in pursuit of that white car you see right there going southbound on I-44, which basically would be west I-44. Just past, we're just past Southwest 104th Street now. The helicopter has. They're still way up in front of us right now, running on the shoulder. Very dangerous right now, but OHP, you can see the OHP SUV behind that white vehicle being pursued. Now there you can see Southwest 134th in your picture. He's just past that, still on the shoulder, southbound on I-44 here. As soon as we get caught up here, I'm going to have to go back to the Will Rogers Tower here to clear, because we'll be crossing the extended center line or the runway here in a minute as 44 kind of bends over to the west, so I have to get in touch with them. Back to you.
Hey, Jim, thank you so much. And just to put this into perspective, Jim is in the fastest chopper in this market, and he's having trouble keeping up with this high-speed pursuit involving OHP and that white vehicle. We're told it's a Mercedes of some sort, but we still have no idea why they're chasing him.
No, and it looks like he is increasing, and at Southwest 149th, and look at this. I mean, we're getting ready to enter the drive time home. This is a major thoroughfare, I-44. It looks like he's headed, into the Tri-Cities area. If you were getting ready to kind of move into the H.E. Bailey Turnpike going into Lawton, it looks like that he's coming up on the big bridge there on the south side of Oklahoma City. And now the lanes are opening up just a little bit. Earlier, as we were watching, as this pursuit just started, it looked like one car might have been run off the road, but here's the bridge on the south side of the metro. And it looks like the highway patrol car,
OHP trooper car.
oh, he blew a tire out. The trooper car blew a tire out. That is not good news. Let's see if he...
Right, the OHP SUV just lost a tire. Now, right now, we're about a mile behind this car. Hang on, just what...
All right, Jim, I know you're talking to the air traffic controller because of the Will Rogers airport traffic, but the shot is still on this guy.
Will Rogers airspace, so we can
That's right. Oh, and he just exited off.
He almost lost it on the off-ramp right there.
That's going into the tunnel. Oh, my goodness. 1, 2, 3.
He rolled.
He's rolled 4 times.
Oh, he rolled right there. That's going to be...
oh, goodness.
We got 2 police cars over to the shoulder here. Okay, we're going to be rolling up on this pretty quick.
Oh, goodness. He took that
pretty quick here, so we'll find out
very high speed.
Exactly what happened here.
He was traveling at a high rate of speed and took that 108 exit.
Come around pretty hard.
which goes into that Tri-City area. Just hang with us. Our signal is going to be coming back as we follow this breaking news.
Just stay with him, Ben. Just stay with him.
Oh, he got out.
He got out and he's running now.
Goodness.
The suspect is running. He's crossing.
Where is
we
that?
got people standing out behind her house. This is not good. This is not good.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, he's running behind the business there. We got an OHP SUV.
He's closing in on him.
It appears to be a woman. It appears to be a woman that's running. Here, she's trying to, the trooper's going to apprehend her right here.
All right.
Right behind the fence here.
They got her.
Oh, that's good. I don't know if this person's armed or what she had or whatever, but right now we're sitting right here. It's going to be basically it's going to be northwest 32nd Street, or northeast 34th Street, around in that area. This off ramp looked like going towards Tuttle. This is going to be another one, David, that is falling south of Northeast 12th. So, oh my gosh, stuff's going off through here like crazy.
Yeah, we will. Okay,
and it's moving south. It appears to be kind of moving south, David.
Okay, it is. It's moving southeast. Okay, let's go to Storm Shield 9. Let's go to Storm Shield 9. Oh my gosh, look at the debris here, folks. Okay, again, everybody and more. It's getting stronger. Everybody and more. My goodness. Look, folks, everybody and more. Go to tornado emergency for more. Tornado emergency for more. There's the water tower. There's I-35. Okay, let's back out. Let's take Jim's shot. We've got a lot of power flashes going on. It's going through neighborhoods. It's going through neighborhoods. Let's go to velocity mode. Let's keep Jim's shot up. Okay, quickly, switch these images here. Go to velocity mode. Tornado and more. Tornado emergency for more. Tornado on the ground in more, doing damage. Tornado and more right now doing damage. And again, circulation now, it's basic. Okay, say that again, Lacey. Santa Fe and Southwest 134th. Okay, if this screen were a little bigger, I could read that. Southwest 134th and Santa Fe. Basically, it's going to be just south of Highland West Junior High School and Plaza Towers Elementary School. Plaza Towers Elementary School is where the tornado is going to go right over.
This is absolutely crazy.
Okay, it's moving southeast. Hey, guys, loop this for me. Let's loop this to show the viewers at home. All right, let's show the viewers at home. It's still moving easterly. It's swinging through. It was moving southeast. Now it's moving more easterly. So, again, if you live in Moore, Central Moore, East Moore, it's a tornado emergency for you. You have to get to your safe spot. Look at the shear. Look at where it is. Look at the shear rate going on right now. It is really ramped up now. And again, Jim has it just west of I-35. It's now approaching I-35, it looks like, or might have even actually crossed over. Let's take Jim's shot full screen one more time. And again, there's Southwest 4th Street and more, Southeast 19th Street.
Shooting back to the west.
There's I-35 right there. Let's go back. And power flashes continue. The tornado continues on the ground. Tornado continues on the ground in more. Jim, go ahead.
So it looks like 4th Street across I-35 seems to be just in the area where this thing crossed, and that would be just to the north, less than a half a mile to the north of the Warren Theater. Now, Justin Doherty is at Southwest 4th and I-35 right now. I think he can join us. Justin?
We are on I-35 near Southeast 4th Street, and right now we just spoke with OHP officers, and EMSA is arriving to a scene where a semi has overturned and also a pickup truck is on its hood. And we spoke with OHP, and they said this is all weather related. They said the wind has picked up this semi and picked up this truck and flipped the semi on its side and the pickup on its hood. Now, they did say that, hey, they haven't much other reports of damage besides wind damage, but as far as structure damage, they have not heard much. But they did say this accident right here on I-35 and Southeast 4th Street in Moore is weather related. So we will continue to monitor this scene. EMSA did just arrive right now. No word yet on the drivers, but OHP is here and so is EMSA. And again, we are on I-35 near Southeast 4th Street in Moore. Reporting live, Justin Doherty, News 9.
Yeah, Jolene, we are here on Rockwell Avenue, very near Northwest 10th Street. In fact, the intersection we're at right now is Northwest 7th and Rockwell Avenue. As you can see behind me, we have a lot of damage from where this storm started. We've got tree limbs down. We have trees that have been actually split in two. We see lots of fences that are down, you can see here. But take a look up there. You see that aluminum up in the trees? That was actually someone's carport. And the wind or small tornado picked that thing up, ripped it apart, and threw it up into the air, and that is what is left of that. In fact, I talked to the homeowner who said he had just put that in a year ago. It had just been painted. It was very sturdy. It's up there right now.
Let's go to Hank. Hank, give us an update. Go ahead.
David, we've got a funnel I-35 about Tecumseh Road, maybe just a little bit east. The rotation has really started to crank up again. It's going to be pretty close to Solomon Robb, actually. It's going to be right on Tecumseh Road, and now it's starting to wrap up and rain a little bit. But we saw a funnel come about halfway to the ground. The whole wall cloud is starting to pick up rotation again. I'm sitting south of it a little bit at Lindsay, I-35 in Lindsay, and my inflow winds are just screaming from the south straight into this storm. So it looks like it's cycling up again. It looks like it's going to produce a tornado momentarily, David.
Okay, all right, great job, Hank. Let's go to Jim Gardner. Jim, you got power flashes. Go ahead, take it, go.
That's right, David. We had several power flashes as it crossed Rock Creek Road there. You see, there's another one right there. You can see the cars right there. Now you see another power flash to the north of where that is. So there's some heavy circulation going on in there. That's Rock Creek Road you're seeing right there with the car lights. To the left center of your screen.
Tornado on the ground.
You can see the power flashes going on right now. You can see the tornadoes tracking north of Rock Creek Road right now. A huge power flash right there. It is on the ground again, David. It is moving towards the Moore area at this time. Like I said, I just passed Rock Creek. I'm east of Max Westheimer Airport. Look at it again. I'm just reliving this all over again from just not too long ago. This is just incredible that this is going on again, David.
Right. I'm with you, brother. I hear you. I know. I know. I can't believe we're here doing this again. Okay, tornado on the ground now. This is going to be in northwest Norman. The tornado there is on the ground. The condensate's not all the way. We got power flashes. Power flashes. This is doing damage now. This is going to be doing damage in West Moore, and in West Norman, and eventually pushing into Moore, South Moore and Southeast Moore. The tornado is on the ground. You can see the winds beginning to pick up. This is an area that I was really worried about. And here we go again. Tornado, power flashes, power flash there. There's the cone. There's the backside of the cone. This is going to be a fairly large, wide tornado. Condensate getting lower. Condensate getting lower. It's going to fill in. Tornado continues on the ground. Another tornado on the ground in Norman, West Norman, Northwest Norman, coming into southern and eastern sides of Moore. Tornado emergency. We'll say it again. If you live in West and North Norman, if you live in South and East Moore, tornado emergency. You need to go to your safe spot right now. You cannot mess around with this. You got to go to your safe spot right now. There's the right side of the tornado. There's the left side. It's an ugly tornado. It's ugly. It's got all kinds of, it's not condensate or cloud all the way to the ground, but this thing is doing some damage down in Westmore. Go ahead, Lacey.
The center of circulation is on Rock Creek and 36th Avenue. That's about a half a mile to the west of I-35.
Okay, right. It's about ready to cross I-35 down in Norman. There's the right side of the tornado. There's the left side. Okay, let's leave this for a second. We know it's on the ground. Power flashes. It's getting stronger. We're seeing more power flashes. There. Let's go back to a storm shield. This is exactly where the tornado is. This is the only product you'll see only on News 9 right here in Oklahoma City. There it is, west Tecumseh Road, 36th Street. That's northwest 36th Street and west Tecumseh Road. There's I-35. That's the tornado. That's the tornado right there crossing I-35. That's what we call shear rate. And again, that's where the tornado is. You can't see it any clearer than that. Tornado on the ground right now in West Moore. Tornado on the ground. For eastern Caddo County, we've got flooding going on down in Moore. We've got damage in Bridge Creek, heavy damage to the fire department. We've got damage down in Norman, and it's a mess. It's a mess. We have been hit hard today. We have been hit hard today, and it's not over. It's not over, okay? By the way, let me just point out, this is the dumbest thing ever, okay? Do not do that. Do not do that. More people lose their lives every year to flooding versus any other weather event. It's that. It's people not thinking, I got to get home. I get it. Drive around a mile to get out of that. Don't do that. That's just not thinking. And I know they're going to be fine probably, but don't do that. Don't drive through water. Turn around, don't drown. Can't say it enough. Okay, so area of spin now coming into Tinker Air Force Base. It's lifting north. Looks like it's weakened some, but it's still there nonetheless, and it's going to be right here. So tornado warning continues for Tinker Air Force Base proper, for Del City, for Midwest City, tornado warning there going on.
This is a live shot. This used to be the Holiday Inn, the old Holiday Inn you might know it as. This is the Norman Hotel. That's right down there in Norman, and you can see the damage off the side of the building right there.
We mentioned as the storm was moving through Norman that there was a lot of flooding going on down there. In fact, we heard a high water rescue going on This was in the area of 34th and Telephone Road, and our Jessica Holly is there with the update from that scene. Jess?
You can see behind me, there is lots of flooding in this area. We've seen many cars trying to go through these flooded areas, but it is simply not the right decision. You know, that is always been told, you know, stop, don't go there, turn around. This is Southwest 34th, and ahead of me is Santa Fe. As you can see, this road is completely blocked. My photographer and I are actually trying to make our way to Norman, but we keep finding roads that are flooded. Also ahead of me, Telephone Road, Southwest 34th, near the Baptist College that's right over there in that area, also shut down. We're also seeing a lot of this flooding come right up to people's homes, but thankfully we've not actually seen it go into homes. And then over by 35, you probably saw our shot earlier, 35 south, just south of Southwest 19th, is down to one lane. The access road completely flooded. A lot of those businesses over there near the Daisy Exchange and the bagel shop completely flooded. So just be very cautious if you're going to be out on the roads. Reporting live in Norman, Jessica Holly, News 9.
You know, some believe Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh's motivation lies in what happened 2 years earlier at the Branch Davidian compound in Waco. But could anyone have known his plans for the bombing?
Well, that is a question that haunts many of us, including the woman who ran a daycare inside the federal building.
She tells her story for the first time on TV to News 9's Robin Marsh.
Just like today, it was a beautiful day, normal day. Kids were running in the daycare. Everybody was in the daycare in Choctaw. Everybody was having fun. I just got off the phone from Dana. Knew there were 21 kids in the daycare. She was excited about the day. We just talked, as we always did. Hung up the phone to do payroll. Next thing I knew, little faces kind of flash in front of you.
A caregiver at heart.
This is the one I got the phone call on.
Meet Melva Noakes. The morning of April 19th, 1995 began at her daycare in Choctaw.
You think what they would be 20 years later.
She was planning to head to downtown Oklahoma City and the federal building, where she had just opened the America's Kids daycare 3 weeks prior.
Usually I would go down and I would park my car underneath that building and wave at the kids in the windows. As I called them on the phone, would say, I'm coming, and I would honk the horn and wave at them in the windows.
A precious memory that faded in an instant. Melva's daughter called with word of an explosion at the federal building.
As we got down there, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe what was going on. Nothing prepares you for that. When I walked and finally turned the corner, it was like there wasn't a building. There wasn't a face on the building. There was no landmark that I remembered. I couldn't believe it was the building that I had been parking under and driving to. And where were my kids? I thought they were going to be safe.
The loss is unbearable. "19 lives taken inside the daycare, including the tiniest 15 victims. Scott Williams making a delivery, and 3 of Melva's daycare workers. Melva says 9 a.m. was Bible time, and that the body of Miss Wanda was found with a child and Bible in her lap.
The brothers. Where you saw one, you saw the other one.
Melva says she will never forget how each life touched her heart.
He was cute, always in overalls.
But she says there is one thing that still haunts her.
You know, when you tell someone, go ahead and go to work, Mom, they're going to be fine. They'll be here when you come home. And you can't tell them that anymore. It's just not the same.
A lonely road of anguish continued for Melva the day she realized she was a defendant in a lawsuit. Many of the daycare parents sued her.
People saying that I had the daycare open that day, that I know it was a terrorist day. When you have a contract with the federal, they tell you when to shut the doors and lock the doors. It's not something you can control. It's the store of the Murrah Building Daycare.
Forgiveness and healing have come for Melva and can be found through the pages of a book she has written, April Morning. Melva says God has carried her through the dark days, and she will never forget. She says there's only one place she wants to be on the 20-year remembrance of the bombing.
I'll be here reading the names. reading the names.
Robin Marsh, News 9.
After 3 years of lawsuits, Melvin Oaks says the judge threw out all the lawsuits against her. She says she has no ill feelings toward the parents who sued her.
We do begin tonight with the man at the helm during that time, Governor Frank Keating.
Governor Keating became the public face of the tragedy as he updated the public and asked for help dealing with the disaster. I sat down to talk with him 2 decades later.
You can't forget a searing time like that.
An explosion at 9 o'clock this morning in Oklahoma City.
On the morning of April 19, 1995, Governor Frank Keating had just returned from the Metro Prayer Breakfast when he got the word.
Somebody came rushing in and said there's apparently been a natural gas explosion at the Murrah Federal Office Building.
But when he saw the devastation with his own eyes, he knew otherwise. So you knew immediately this was an act of, some kind of act of terrorism.
Call me cynical or call me suspicious, but when I saw that, I said, you know, no, somebody blew that building up. We've got to, and it's filled with people. This is a bad deal.
Turns out his years of experience in law enforcement and gut instinct proved he was right. A parked rental truck full of explosives blew up in front of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, demolishing the entire north side of the building, killing 168 people, 19 of which were children. The explosion damaged or destroyed more than 300 buildings downtown. What was the first thing you did? Do you remember?
Well,
what was the first call you made?
Well, the first thing I did was get our senior team together. Then I went over to our command and control center, which is underneath the Capitol grounds, and talked to President Clinton. And he said, "What do you need?" And I said, "I think everything."
In the days and weeks ahead, just over 12,000 volunteers and rescue workers helped in the rescue and recovery efforts.
You don't know if somebody is willing to risk himself or herself to save others, but Oklahomans did that.
Authorities arrested Timothy McVeigh in the bombing, a Gulf War veteran who sought revenge against the federal government. Were you surprised it was domestic terrorism?
What stunned me the most was that somebody who should know better, somebody who wanted to make a political statement, would kill 19 babies and a total of 168 of our neighbors and friends. I mean, what an evil, worthless piece of junk he is. I mean, that was my reaction.
The investigation resulted in the execution of McVeigh and a life sentence without parole for his accomplice, Terry Nichols. The surviving structure of the Murrah building was demolished in May of 1995. Today, the area is home to the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum, a place to honor the victims, survivors, and rescue workers. It is an amazing thing what has happened here, isn't it, over the last 20 years?
People were so enamored with the story of this city. We wish all those wonderful people were still here, but hopefully, out of evil good comes, and bad things make good people respond, and we certainly responded.
Definitely Oklahoma's finest moment. Governor Keating left office in 2003 and is currently the president of the American Bankers Association in Washington, D.C. He and the former First Lady, Kathy Keating, still spend quite a bit of time in the Sooner State.
After the bombing, Oklahomans came together in a sea of support. But one bombing survivor remembers 20 years later how one simple act of kindness touched her the most.
Time has a way of softening things.
Amy Downs worked as a teller at the Federal Employees Credit Union inside the Murrah Federal Building when the bomb went off.
I could hear people screaming all around.
She fell 3 floors, trapped under 3 feet of debris.
I just spoke with one of the rescue workers who has just come out of the federal building. He says that there is one woman who is in the basement. She's pinned in there.
She spent the next 6.5 hours buried alive as rescue workers worked carefully to free her.
I really was forced to think about my life and what I had done with it or not done with it.
Her leg severely injured. Downs spent 8 days in the hospital. While there, she remembers looking out of the window to an unforgettable sight.
It was the middle of the day, and what I saw was all the cars, everyone with their headlights on.
Days after the bombing, a call went out for all Oklahomans to drive with their headlights on to show support and solidarity for the victims.
You know, it's such a very simple gesture, but for me, you know, having just gone through what I'd gone through, finding out one by one that 18 of my 33 coworkers were killed, And then seeing these strangers out on the road, driving with their headlights on. In that moment, it felt like it was for me.
When Downs got out of the hospital, she made some changes in her life, like going back to college and having a son. She even took charge of her health through cycling and running.
The first thing I see when I walk into the office every morning, and it just reminds me.
Downs still works for the same credit union where her 18 lost coworkers are honored in a memorial garden. And each year she runs in the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon to honor all of the victims.
When all those thousands of runners come downtown to run our marathon, it's like the cars are still driving with their headlights on. It's the statement, we won't forget.
We're asking you to join us to honor the victims from 20 years ago. As you're driving around town tomorrow, flip on your headlights. It's a small gesture that many used back in 1995, so we're doing it again. And be sure to join our conversation on social media using the hashtags OKStandard and LightsOnOKC.
When We Remember 20 Years Later returns, I sit down with some current and former News 9 reporters and anchors to talk about covering the bombing.
And later, it was one of the most heartbreaking parts of the attack. 15 children lost in the America's Kids Daycare Center. Robin Marsh sits down with the woman who ran that facility.
But even as a sobbing Daniel Holtzclaw was attempting to leave the courtroom, he appeared to mouth to the court, "I didn't do it."
Yes, on his 29th birthday, jurors say otherwise. They find him guilty on 18 of the 36 felony charges, and here's how it breaks down. Guilty on 6 counts of sexual battery, guilty on 4 counts of forcible sodomy, guilty on 3 counts of procuring lewd acts, guilty on 4 counts of first-degree rape, and 1 count of second-degree rape. And we have team coverage live from the courthouse. We start tonight with our News 9's Jolene Cheney. Jolene?
Yeah, Amanda, basically half of those 36 charges he was found guilty. The jury deliberating 45 hours. This is the 4th day. Let's take a look at some video as those charges were being read, or the counts there. One by one, the judge, he read all 36 counts against Daniel Holtzclaw. He was found, like you said, guilty of 18. He sobbed as he went before the judge. He sobbed all the way out of the courtroom as deputies walked him out in handcuffs. His family followed after, holding hands on their way out. Those victims, as well as people there supporting them, you could hear soft cries and muffled outbursts from people in the crowd, a bittersweet with each guilty, disappointment with each not guilty. And all this happened on Daniel Holtzclaw's birthday. Right now, the courthouse is being cleared so the judge as well as the jury can leave. Holtzclaw, he's already inside the Oklahoma County Jail right now, and Sheriff Wetzel says he's going to stay there until he has his formal sentencing that's coming up in January. Let's go now to Adriana Iwashinsky. Well, this is team coverage right here. And Adriana, you interviewed the woman who first reported this and basically blew all this out of the water.
Yeah, she has been waiting for this decision for a year and a half. She reported this crime back in June of 2014. She was the very first one to report it, and she was in the courtroom when this verdict was read. She sobbed along with her family inside, but she was so overcome with emotion she could not speak to anybody. She just cried and sobbed and was surrounded by those who loved her. Now, I was inside the courtroom when the jury read those 36 counts that the jury found him guilty and not guilty on, and there was an outburst of emotion from Daniel Holtzclaw and members of his family when the judge read that first guilty verdict. There was also uncontrollably loud sobbing coming from the first row where his family sat, especially when that first of 4 guilty verdicts on the rape charges were read. The jury recommended a sentence range of 5 years all the way up to 30 years on those rape charges, but it will be up to the judge to determine if they will be served concurrently or consecutively. We talked to DA David Prater after the verdict was read and Holtzclaw was led away.
We want to assure this community that the Oklahoma City Police Department did the right thing, the Oklahoma County DA's office did the right thing, the jury did the right thing, and we're going to ask the judge to make sure that this defendant never sees the light of day, and we're going to ask him to run consecutive every count.
And Holtzclaw's sentencing date has been set for January 21st. Reporting live in downtown Oklahoma City, Adriana Ivashinsky, News 9.
Thanks, Adriana. The Oklahoma City Police Department, Holtzclaw's former employer, was quick to respond tonight. Their statement says, in part, we are proud of our detectives and prosecutors for a job well done. To the jury, we thank you for your service. We are satisfied with the jury's decision and firmly believe justice was served.
And we have much more coverage in this huge case on News9.com and on the News 9 app. Welcome back. Past the hustle and bustle of city living, some old cowboys proudly carry on a tradition.
Our Carl Torp shows us what's helping to keep them young in this week's Red Dirt Diaries.
Hey, Ray. Today you don't get serious.
Outside Geary.
As long as you're on a horse, you can't be doing anything wrong.
This law-abiding group carries on a tradition. Older than some of the trails it rides.
It's relaxing. You get your mind off from everything, it seems to me like.
We can go down through here and we might stop and talk and we catch up on everything that goes along.
Since 1999.
One time there was 20 of us, I think.
Every Tuesday morning, the men exchange howdies and handshakes.
And if you can't take a joke, stay at home.
And prepare for the highlight of their week.
Every one of these guys have been riding since they're kids.
So for at least 2 to 3 hours in the morning, these men feel like kids again.
And you gotta have laughter.
Marshall Baker has been bringing Princess for years.
She's my sweetheart.
At 79, he's not ashamed of the nickname this group has earned over time.
Well, if you want to know, they call us the old farts.
Almost all the members of this riding group are in their 70s and 80s.
They've been keeping you busy?
Oh, yeah, but it don't take much. Through the brush and blisters, though, a friendship stronger than a shared passion for riding has formed.
So to those people. You brought a booger with you.
Marshall hopes for him the weekly rides will last until the very end.
Well, I hope I die on that horse, or while I'm riding, just fall off dead.
Until then,
the view looking down across there is absolutely great.
The group sets out to prove there's nothing like taking in the views.
They are the best.
On horseback, with your closest pals, never far behind. In Geary, with the old farts, Carl Torp, News 9.
It's time to thunder up. The Oklahoma City Thunder now less than an hour from the first tip-off of the season, albeit the preseason. The team will hit the court in Minneapolis for their preseason opener against the Timberwolves. News 9 Thunder reporter Steve McGee, he is live at the Target Center. He gets to go to every Thunder game this year. That's a sweet gig, Steve.
One down, many more to go here. The last time Oklahoma City played here at the Target Center, Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka were no-shows. But the good news here, they are here in town, ready to start and play tonight against the Timberwolves. For Kevin, sure, it's just an exhibition game, but this game tonight has some extra meaning to it.
First day camp, I've just been trying to grind out with my teammates and try not to think about me being injured. I just wanted to pick up where I left off, really. And but I haven't played an NBA game in a long time. Just like these guys haven't played in a long time either. But so I kind of look at it like that and try not to put too much pressure on myself.
And I know what that feels like to be out for a long period of time and kind of sitting back and watching your teammates, play without going out there to be able to help them. So him just coming out tonight and trying to find his rhythm and kind of get back to the swing of things is always great.
Billy Donovan says Russ and KD will play between 18 and 22 minutes tonight, some in the first half and some in the second half. The game will not be on TV, so I'll put the camera on my shoulder here and send us back some, hopefully some great highlights coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. Much more on the Thunder coming up in sports. In Minneapolis, rolling with the Thunder, Steve McGehee, News 9.
Oklahoma, oh, City Thunder, hey, hey. Oklahoma, oh, City Thunder, hey, hey.
Oh, who can forget Matthias from a couple of years ago? And Rumble. Look at that. Fans far and wide are ready. Far and wide, they're ready, and Rumble is ready. Katie and Russ are back together along with the rest of the crew for what could be a magical season.
We sure hope so. Thunder Alley is definitely the place to be. In fact, we're already seeing people gathering just outside the Chesapeake Energy Arena as we speak.
And we have everything covered from down at the peak, from all the before-game fireworks to what hopefully will be a win at the end of the night. Let's go to the guys covering Thunder Spurs for us tonight. Sports Director Dean Blevins and our Thunder reporter Steve McGehee. Guys, what a great night.
Oh, Kelly, it is going to be a big, big night. I mean, it was big anyway, just Steve with the new coach coming in, Billy Donovan and Kevin Durant coming back. That was big enough, but the Spurs are here. How you doing, bud?
Doing great. This is game one of how many?
82.
Orlando in game two, of course, will be there on the road, home and away. And it's great to see Serge and Kevin out here on the court.
Well,
we did not see them here last time.
And I'll set him up. Folks, you're going to have a treat this year if you like the Thunder. This guy's going to every stinking game. He'll be jumping on a plane for Orlando tomorrow, reporting from Orlando on Friday when the Thunder are down there. Steve, tell us about the Spurs.
Hopefully they'll not be stinking talking about the Thunder there. It'll be a good trip every time we go. But the Spurs, of course, they got better in the offseason. They picked up a former Portland Trailblazer, NBA All-Star LaMarcus Aldridge. You throw in David West, and of course they have the ageless Timmy Duncan. Those are some good guys there in the middle for the Spurs. And of course, the job will be for Ennis Cantor and company to play defense on those guys. Earlier today, we talked to Cantor about that challenge.
They're really good players and also, the experienced players. So whenever we're out there, we cannot, take any time off. We just have to go out there and just do our best and just take advantage of our youngness and just make him run.
I look at him like a big brother, man. He, when I went down to Texas as a senior in high school, he was there for my visit, and so I felt like we formed a relationship since then, and I always respected his game.
Tony, when Russ and Kevin are together on the same page, how tough are they to defend?
Oh, they're very good. One of the best, duos in the league, and we know they're going to be at the end of the season. They're going to be right there.
Steve, when you finish, and Kevin Durant pulling up. It doesn't go down, but it'll go down tonight, I'm sure, as the Spurs in town, Steve. Spurs are in.
We're looking forward to this game tonight. Hey, a chance to win a big screen TV. Go to news9.com/Thunder and make a prediction on the season. You may have a chance to win a big screen TV.
Tough draw for Billy Donovan in his first game as a pro coach. He had to go head-to-head with all-time great and five-time NBA champion Greg Popovich. Donovan starting five. KD, Russ, Ibaka, Robertson, and Adams, same as Scott Brooks' starting five. Straight to the fourth. Enes Kanter's putback and one gives OKC a 2-point lead. 15 points, 16 rebounds for Kanter. Kawhi Leonard, a monster night, one-on-one with KD, step back. Spurs up 7, 97-90. He had 32. Thunder comes back. Russ with the pass. KD for three. A 9-0 run is 99-97 OKC. 1 minute left. Thunder still up 2. Wild shot from KD. Corralled by Serge, who passes it to Westbrook. Knocks down a 3. Thunder up 5. That wound up being the dagger. Thunder wins by 6. 33 points, 10 assists for Westbrook. He also shot 52% from the field. Durant only shot 6 of 19, but scored 22 points. Dean Blevins and Steve McGehee both at tonight's game. Let's start with Dean. Big, big win for OKC, Dean.
Chuck, this was playoff basketball, very efficient by both teams, but for Billy Donovan, really impressed with the way the guys moved the ball, the spacing we heard so much about. They got higher percentage shots off than the previous regime. Okay, the key sequence came with 1:49 to go. The game was tied 103, and it was Serge Ibaka against LaMarcus Aldridge, their free agent pickup. Super block right here, and on the ensuing possession, Dion Waiters will post up his mismatch over Tony Parker. Back-to-back baskets for Waiters, who was bad enough that Donovan had to pull him, but good enough that he made the game's biggest baskets. Thunder shoot 49%, but Steve, the downside, they had 19 turnovers. Steve McGehee, Mr. Basketball for the Thunder.
Usually 19 turnovers against the Spurs, that's going to get you beat. One of those turnovers was a bad pass by Dion Waiters in the third quarter. Then he comes back in the fourth and makes two big shots, as you mentioned there. Spurs, well, they played great, but Thunder wanted this one much more. And there was a lot of talk in the offseason about the addition of LaMarcus Aldridge going to San Antonio tonight. Just 11 points on 4 out of 12 shooting. Some great defense by the Thunder. Thunder outscored the Spurs by 10 in the fourth quarter, giving Billy Donovan win number 1 in Oklahoma City.
I think coming out in the second half, I thought we had much better ball movement. I thought we got higher percentage shots. And then I thought in the second half we defended much better than we did in the first half. And you know, I think we talked about it before the game. They certainly ran some things that we had not seen before, and we probably ran some things they had not seen before. So I was really just very pleased with the way our guys just kind of kept their composure.
Fans, you're in for a treat. Steve's going to every road game starting tomorrow. Friday's game, you'll be there in Orlando.
Leaving for Orlando tomorrow. I'll be there Friday night as well. Next week, I'll be in Houston and Chicago. The Nuggets are here Sunday night. Of course, I'm going to be here for that game as well. Chuck, back to you.
Well, it is another big game for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and KD, Russ, and the rest of the starting five are ready. A win tonight maintains our winning record. But the big question is, will we see the same guys that played Sunday night at home?
I hope so, because it worked pretty well. So now it's time to find out where Steve has gone in his fancy Little Tykes plane tonight. He's the only reporter to go to every game, home and away, and now he takes us to the nation's capital. Hey, Steve.
And, of course, that fancy pilot. Once again, yesterday we went to Houston first, then on to D.C. I guess my talk with him didn't count at all. It's a homecoming game for Durant. Of course, he's excited to play in front of family and friends tonight here at the Verizon Center. And I would imagine he is glad he is done with the mob scene that was this morning after practice. About 35 to 40 reporters dealing with free agency questions. The Wizards, of course, would like to make a major push for him in the offseason if he's available.
It means a lot coming back playing here, you know, because I remember as a kid catching the train down here to watch, you know, Wizards, Mystics, and Georgetown play all the time, and to be able to walk on that court as an NBA player, you know, it shows the, you know, the journey that I've been on. You know, I just try to go about every day and just focus on that day, you know, and not try to think about the future too much.
And how will you balance your heart versus business when you make that decision?
I haven't thought about that. You know, like I said, I'll worry about that when I get there, man. I'm just excited I get another opportunity to play in the NBA again tonight and play against a great team.
And the Wizards have two great guards in Bradley Beal and John Wall. They're one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. We'll see if KD can put on a show tonight at the Verizon Center and come back to Oklahoma City with the victory. Much more on this game. Post-game report coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. Kelly, back to you.
Oklahoma's own News 9 in high definition.
Trooper Nicholas Dees. It's a name that was unknown to most Oklahomans until an accident took his life in January.
But now his name lives on as an example of texting and driving dangers. Justin Doherty talks to Brandy Dees about the life and legacy of her husband, only on 9.
Whether at home in shorts with his 2 little girls, or on patrol in his perfectly pressed uniform.
He would polish that brass for an hour or 2 before he had to go to work.
Nick D's wife, Brandy, knew no matter where he was loved.
He has an amazing heart, like he loves people. I always say he could be friends with the tree.
That comfort in who Nick was makes all that happened a little easier for Brandy.
His faith was very important. I promise you, I know where he's at right now.
See, Nick is no longer able to meet his family at Mazzio's on his lunch break, no longer able to take his daughters Claire and Piper to piano lessons, and no longer able to live his dreams of being a father.
He loved those girls.
And a second-generation Oklahoma highway patrolman.
He was meant to be a trooper. From the moment I met him, that's what he talked about. He was going to be a trooper. I knew that.
Brandy and Nick also knew that every day he put on that uniform, the unexpected could happen at any moment.
If he would have known that this was going to happen, I believe he still would have done the same job.
How often do you think about January 31st?
Not very often.
That's because on that night, just 4 hours after Brandy spoke to Nick on the phone, he was killed in the line of duty. Dashcam video from that night captures Nick's final moments as he and his partner Keith Birch inspect a jackknifed semi on I-40 in Seminole County. When the camera goes black, that's when a distracted driver drove straight through emergency lights and hit the two troopers going 65 miles per hour, severely injuring Trooper Birch and killing Trooper Deese. Not long after, Brandy and her family woke to a knock at the door.
We were all just kind of in shock. And then you don't know what to do. You just sit there, there's nothing you can do.
Days later, all those people Nick loved showed their love. Thousands poured into Broken Bow to lay the fallen hero to rest. Then Brandy knew there was something she could do.
I'm not angry like I'm holding resentment, but I just feel like it could have been prevented. Maybe we could save someone else's life, and someone else's won't have to lose their father.
So Brandy worked with lawmakers and the governor. In less than 4 months, Brandy accomplished what some state leaders have been trying to do for years. Effective November 1st, texting and driving will be banned in Oklahoma, thanks to a law honoring Birch and Deese.
Today, we're passing, I think, one of the most significant pieces of legislation for highway safety.
We did a good thing that day.
A good thing for a good-hearted man.
He was a normal person, a dad and a husband, and he was our hero. We loved him.
That was Justin Doherty reporting.
You're watching Oklahoma's own News 9 in high definition.
We float through life in Chicago, unrecognized, head down.
We'd both be equally uncomfortable with our names being associated with the word celebrity at all.
Well, that was 10 years ago and probably not the case anymore.
No, these two guys are more recognizable than ever, still behind the wheel of Sonic's success. I went to Los Angeles and joined them on the set of their latest commercial to see how things have changed.
Check this out. Come here, little doggy. Sit.
You may not know their names, but you've more than likely seen them on TV.
Stuff. Shake.
Oh, maybe he's grumpy.
The two guys from the Sonic commercials who love to pop in for a bite at America's favorite drive-in have in their own right become one of America's favorite duos.
And now we wait.
What are we waiting for?
The ladies.
TJ Jagodowski and Pete Gross, both improvisational actors, first hung out at the drive-in back in 2004 when Sonic started its Two Guys campaign. We caught up with them during those humble beginnings and decided to check back in with them now nearly 10 years later on a commercial set near Los Angeles.
5-minute warning.
Thank you so much. A lot about what we do is really similar to how it used to be. The scope of this has gotten larger.
It's one of the longest running campaigns in the industry. And I'll tell you, it is hard to get a campaign that works for that period of time.
But not without a brief setback when, like Sonic's Fried Piccolos, the company discontinued the Two Guys in 2010. So what was it like when you stepped away from that in 2010, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 2010.
What was that like?
Intensely lonely. We wandered the streets collecting cans or whatever we could find.
Exactly. Despite losing their Sonic gig, they never lost their sense of humor.
I was in between the median and the highway for the whole time, just poking things with a stick.
It was a bit of a bummer just because they've always been fun to do.
Wanting to focus the campaign more heavily on its food, Sonic soon realized how much the Two Guys and their quirky banter over an order of tots
Don't you bring that weak tot action
meant to their customers.
But as soon as the Two Guys went away, we noticed an immediate impact from consumers saying, hey, what happened? Where did they go? Those guys were fun.
You might remember us as the two guys who used to be in all those Sonic commercials.
And then they phased us out.
So they brought them back in 2012 in a social media publicity stunt.
Hey! We got our jobs back.
I just said that.
It culminated in us reintroducing them with a big relaunch of the campaign.
Putting the Two Guys back in the saddle once again.
It was nice to have a job.
Yeah.
That was good.
I'm a big fan of zombie movies, so I like things coming back from the dead and going on forever.
And it's amazing how they appeal across age ranges. They appeal to middle-aged folks. They appeal to millennials. High schoolers think they're hilarious.
I said je ne sais quoi.
I know, but what did she say?
In fact, the campaign in the past 2 years has performed better than it did in its entire run over the previous 8 years.
They don't seem to be slowing down at all.
Will these guys be 55, 60 years old and still eating together at the Sonic?
I have no idea, Kelly. I'll tell you what, if they keep working, then they will be, for sure.
One day we'll get tired of this.
Yeah. Oh, you and me?
Securing these two guys firmly in the front seat of commercial success.
It really is about as lucky as you can get.
It ticks all the boxes of great job.
It really does.
They do love doing it. When they're not shooting Sonic commercials, both perform improv live. TJ in Chicago, Pete in New York City, and Pete is also a writer for Late Night with Seth Meyers.
And now, My 2 Cents with Kelly Ogle.
As one of 3 boys, I know a lot about brothers, and one thing I know for sure is that brothers want to beat each other, but I also know brothers have each other's back. And it's like that with OSU and OU too. When the unthinkable happened to the Cowboy family this weekend during the parade in Stillwater, the Sooner family rallied to their side. OU leaders expressed their sorrow and concern in person and on social media. At the OU Texas Tech game, the crowd of 90,000 in Norman fell silent out of respect to the victims of the accident. Then, in a touching show of support, the Pride of Oklahoma band carried an Oklahoma State University flag onto the field. And in another poignant moment yesterday, the OU choir broke from their planned homecoming program to pay tribute to their brothers and sisters in Stillwater by singing the OSU alma mater. Very classy and well done, Sooner Nation. I'm Kelly Ogle, and that's my 2 cents.
Welcome back. Last year, more than 48,000 volunteers donated their time to the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma.
That saved the nonprofit nearly $3 million in labor, allowing more money to go to their mission feeding the hungry. I've been spending some time at the food bank. Here's a look at their latest expansion project. Ronnie, you got a big construction project going on out here. It gives you a lot more opportunity to feed people, but it also means you need a lot more help.
Oh, yeah, we do. As you can see here today, we got a lot of volunteers here today, and we could use more all the time. Last year, we have over 48,000 volunteers. We want to ramp that up to 60 or 65,000 if possible.
What changes are you making with the new construction?
Well, the changes we're really excited about. We're going to be adding more volunteer space so we can accommodate more people. And then we're also putting in a production kitchen. We're going to be producing meals for children, and we'll be able to use volunteers in the kitchen also.
So actually, there'll be volunteers who are in here bagging food right now will actually get to help make the meals?
Yes, absolutely. Help make the meals. We're going to be producing around 1,500 meals a day. We're going to ramp that up to around 5,000 in the first 6 months and eventually going to 10,000 a day, all for children.
Someone who hasn't ever done this before, Rodney, I mean, this turns into kind of a party down here, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, they have a lot of fun. You know, it's a production center for us. So we want people to have a great volunteer experience, too, and want to come back.
Cowbell. They filled the pallet.
They filled the pallet again. And, you know, 33% of all the food we distributed 47.8 million last year. So between 15 and 20 million pounds of food every year is touched by volunteers. They're our lifeblood. We couldn't exist without them.
It is such a great way to give back. Those volunteer shifts, they're typically about 2 hours long. Now, if you'd like to join us for a day of volunteering, we're doing that this coming Wednesday. There's a lot of spaces available. Let's fill those up. Go to news9.com/foodforkids to sign up.